Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about something that I talk about a lot. It's a real game changer in your life. It's going to be how to diversify your income for financial freedom. Stay tuned for some tips and strategies so we can get your financial future a little more secure. So, just a few reasons you might want to even bother doing this. Number one, risk mitigation. If you diversify, you're going to spread that risk out. You may work for a company right now and it's a great job and you think there's a future in it. Oh, you're going to be the CEO of this company in a decade, and then next month they have a really bad quarter. And what are they going to do to beat that quarter, right? They're going to start laying people off. Companies don't really tend to pick and choose who's their real winners a lot when it comes to these things. When they see a number drop and they don't meet forecasted budgets, they start cutting the fat, and they're going to pull somebody who's got a good salary. Doesn't matter if you're making that money or not. They're going to pull you, you're going to get laid off, and now you've lost the income stream pretty abruptly. So you want to make sure you've diversified. That's going to be a big risk mitigation on that. And you'll hear me say mitigation a lot. We're going to diversify so we can mitigate that risk. So the second reason you're going to want to diversify is you're going to increase that financial stability. It's not just about, oh, am I going to lose my job? Or is there going to be something else? It could be a car wreck. It could be a natural disaster. It could be anything. We could have a big economic downturn, like we're in the middle of a recession right now. I don't really care what the economists are telling you. We're in a really bad way. We've all seen the interest rates are up, and we are all seeing the stock market really fluctuate heavily. This is a great time to make money. If you want to invest, this is the time to make money. Warren Buffett always says, if you want to be a multimillionaire, you want to be a billionaire, you're going to make that money in the slump. You're not going to make it on the peaks. So the second reason you want to diversify is definitely for that increased financial stability. It's just going to pull you out of those valleys. You get sick or something, you don't make it to work, and you don't clock in, you don't get paid. Maybe you're out of sick time or whatever. Something else, because you've diversified your income, is going to supplement that. Will you do as well as you could have? Maybe not, but at least you're not going to be as far in the hole. The biggest thing to me, the biggest reason I started Diversify, and I started talking about this, I started making a LinkedIn post, I made a YouTube channel. I talk to anybody who will listen, and I run my mouth a lot about diversifying your income. It's a financial independence. Not all that long ago, I was a full-time employee. I didn't have any other income streams, and I hated my job. I hated it. These people ran my life. I worked from home, so I never left work, right? So I woke up at 7 a.m. I was on my computer at 7:15, and I didn't get off my computer until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And that still wasn't enough. They still weren't happy. And then there was a round of layoffs. I luckily wasn't hitting that first round of layoffs, so I didn't lose my job. But that was the big spark that, man, any day I might lose my job. And if I do lose my job, my family's going to lose everything. I was the breadwinner of the family. I still am. And it really sparked in me, you need to have some financial freedom. I wasn't free. I was a slave to that job until I started working some of these things. And I started doing new things to make more money and make money outside of a regular day-to-day job, because those things are not going to get you financially free. They're only going to keep you a slave. So we've talked about why you would do this. We've talked about the reasons for it, right? So let's talk about some of the ways you can actually do it. You've got a primary job. I assume almost everybody's got a job, right? The average American works a 40-hour-ish week job, right? So that's your primary source of income. That's going to be your base. That's your anchor. The next thing you need to have is passive income. You may have seen other videos on this channel about investing in a savings account. You could be investing in CDs. You could be investing in stocks and bonds. Long-term things like your 401k, your IRA, things like that. You need to have those set up. Ideally, we want to get into some dividend stocks. You don't have to say, I'm going to live on dividends. It doesn't have to be that way. If you watch all these dividend channels, they say, oh, you need $1 million so you can live off dividends. Well, if you have a regular job, you don't have to live off dividends. You can use them as supplemental income. And that supplemental income, if you don't count on it, that becomes your savings account. I'm not a big Dave Ramsey fan, but I will plug him on this. You need to have an emergency fund. If you don't have 2 months worth of bills stacked up, let's start investing some of your spare income. Don't go out drinking one night a week. Invest some of that income into some dividend stocks. This time next year, you'll see those dividends paying off, and you will have an emergency account in less than 2 years with very little effort. That's a huge thing. I highly suggest everybody get into that. The next thing is your side hustle. What's your side hustle? Do you mow lawns? Do you do minor construction projects, roof houses? What can you do as a side business that doesn't take away from your day-to-day life, and you can still have a weekend? I run multiple businesses. One of those businesses is delivering sheds. There's a bunch of different shed companies out there. You've got Backyard Products, you've got Better Built, etc., etc. They use contractors to build these sheds. Most of them also will do building ship only systems where they're delivering the sheds that were purchased at Sam's Club, Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, etc. You can do these things and you can do it 1 day a week, you can do it 5 days a week. It just depends what their need is. But if you have a truck and a trailer already and they're just sitting there not making any money, go ahead and sign up for this. You'll pay about $10 a month more for your auto insurance, and you may pay anywhere from $40 to $90 a month for your commercial liability insurance. But it's not, an exorbitant amount of money. You can get in on that and you can start making some money that way. And you'll be surprised how quickly you can build a hustle out of that. And for a lot of people, that becomes their primary job. It is very lucrative. You can tax deduct all your fuel. You can tax deduct your tools. You can tax deduct the miles on your truck. You can tax deduct your insurance on your truck, the depreciation. All of these things are tax deductible. So while you're bringing in some untaxed money, at the end of the year, it is a net benefit. The next thing is, what's your online venture? Do you blog? Do you have a YouTube channel like I do? Do you do affiliate marketing or e-commerce? Things like that. You can see this hat on my head. It's Powder Makers. I run that company. We print, hats, shirts, bandanas, cups, phone cases, all kinds of stuff. And if you go to powdermakers.com, you can buy it directly from me. And I make an income off of that. It's a very passive income. I don't put a lot of work into it. I make the designs, and then somebody purchases it. I approve the purchase to go through to my print company. I use Printify and Printful.com. Both of those will make the product, ship the product, all of it, and then they bill me for whatever I owe them. It's really easy. It's hands off, no big deal. That's drop shipping. Everybody talks about drop shipping. I'm not going to push drop shipping on you, but it is available, and it is a way to actually make an income. The next one is hard to get into. If you're watching this video, you're probably not in the fiscal situation to get into this, but it's something to think about and be looking at in the future. Let's get into real estate. Right now, everybody knows that we went from 2% interest rates on home ownership to 7s and 8s. This isn't going to slow down. If I was to estimate, I think we're going to see 9.5 to 10.5 before we see any kind of drop in the interest rates. I could be wrong. I don't follow the real estate market as well as I do the Forex and the stock markets directly in crypto. But I do keep my eye on real estate because a rental property, especially in today's day and age, can generate an outrageous amount of income. If you look at what the mortgage is going to be on a $200,000 house or $250,000 house, and then what your rental income is going to be, it's outrageous. I know here in the Kansas City area, you will not rent a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home for less than $1,900 a month unless it's completely destroyed. It's not going to happen. The mortgages on those homes, most of the people I know who bought these homes, they did buy them in the low single digit, mortgage rate times, right? So they did get in the 2 to 5% ranges. But when they got in, they now have monthly payments of $1,100 to $1,300 on these properties, and then they're renting them for $1,900. Some are going for as much as $2,500 or $3,000, right? So you're looking at anywhere from $300 to $400 a month, all the way up to almost $2,000 a month in margin on your rental property. Now that doesn't take in your insurance, that doesn't take in the maintenance on the home. You will have costs, but your gross margin is going to be pretty high. So if you have a good debt ratio, you have lines of credit with your bank, you will be able to take care of that home and it will pay itself back off, and then you'll start making money again. If you have high tenant turnover, that's going to be a problem, but today's day and age, really, you don't see much of that. Most people are kind of renting and sticking around because the rates are getting high. So if you find some good tenants, you will make a lot of money from them, and they will be happy as well as you. The last thing we're going to talk about is investments. It's very similar to what we talked about on number 2, right? Passive income. Investments are passive income, but you need to really invest your money. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $100,000. If you work somewhere, you're not taking care of your 401k, you're not taking advantage of that, you need to work your employer match. Almost everybody matches, 3%? Some companies are maxing up to 6%. Whatever the maximum match is, that's what you need to be putting in your 401k. Do not open a 401k and then just let it settle, though. You need to look and see where the investments are. Where's that money being invested? Because whatever that standard package is going to be low risk, low gain. If you're under 40, take it out of that. High risk, high reward. Run that hard until at least 45. You'll see huge gains, especially with this slump we're going to see coming. You will be able to buy more and more of the product. So that way you're investing more and more in that section. When we come out of that slump, you'll see hundreds of percent. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I wouldn't be surprised to see 200, 300% gains on some 401k investments over the next decade. If you're 35 and let's say you make 100 grand a year, you put in 3% of your income. That's it, right? Well, that's actually that. So that would be 3 grand of your pre-tax income. And then you would have another 3 from your employer because they match you. So you have 6 grand going in. What is the percentage rate on that, right? So think of how much money that could be. You can make a lot of money if you invest properly. You're not putting in that much, but the return on this is going to be huge. Again, once you turn 45, maybe start backing it down. But if you're young, invest everything you can. If you can get into an IRA, a Roth, I would also suggest really rolling it more into Roth. We haven't actually seen a full generation retire on the 401k. So is it going to work? That's debatable, but that's really not what we talk about here on this channel, is it? So anyway, number 1, you've got a primary job. That's how you make your income. That's your 40-hour-a-week money coming in. Number 2, passive income. Let's talk about dividend stocks. Let's make stuff like that happen. 3, your side hustle. Everybody should have a side hustle. Are you building something? You deliver something? Something you physically do outside of the internet. Number 4 is your online ventures. Blogging, YouTube, Facebook Reels, I don't care what it is. Do your affiliate marketing. Like I say, I do drop shipping. We make money that way. Number 5, start looking at real estate. Number 6, invest, invest, invest. You can lose money investing. You can also make an enormous amount of money. There are very few millionaires and billionaires out there that didn't make their money off of investing. That's where it really comes from. Anyway, thanks for sitting through all my drivel. See you guys later.